The Bengals and Ravens get things started on Thursday Night Football. We got 49ers, Bucs, Steelers, Commanders, Lions, and Texans are picking all the games here today on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins. And we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app and use code LOCKEDONNFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5.
Joe, happy Kyle's latest Top 100 Big Board release to you. You're on Locked On NFL Scout.
Wow. I'll take a gander at that when we get done recording.
Yeah, we usually have draft stuff reserved for the middle of the week, but not this week with the trade deadline and the coaching firings. So we're now going to shift gears, head towards week 10. Week 10, double digits of the NFL season already means we're over the halfway point as of this week. And as you mentioned, we have a lot of really fascinating games. Detroit heads to Houston on Sunday Night Football for playoff contenders on either side of the conference lines. We have a big NFC matchup with San Francisco and Tampa Bay, with a couple of teams lingering around 500 that have playoff expectations. We have the first and third picks in the draft going head-to-head in Chicago and New England. We have Bryce Young back for the Carolina Panthers off a dub. And then we have Thursday Night Football, where the Ravens host the Bengals, with the Bengals trying to do the thing and get back to 500 this season.
It's a good football game. A couple weeks ago, they played to a 41-38 game, and I think it speaks to exactly the issues that both teams have. They're not very good on defense, right? I think the Bengals defense is playing a lot better, and the Ravens pass defense has struggled all season, but the run defense is good, but I'm not sure that matters because the Bengals can't run the ball. I think it's helpful for the Ravens that this game is in Baltimore on a short week. That's huge for them. But the 6.5 point spread here kind of confuses me. I have actual money on the Bengals to cover. I do think that the Ravens win this game because they are the home team, and I feel like their offense is just more diverse than what Cincinnati's is.
Can we acknowledge real quick, you and I pick the games if somebody's new to the Thursday show. We preview all the games. We pick them just straight up, but the show picks them against the spreads. We have a power rankings that we do throughout the offseason. We update the rosters to be able to, and there's a formula that spits out like a numerical value for every team, and then you look at whether it's home or away. And the show, Joe, 12-3, the show against the spread last week. You and I winning records, but not 12-3. The show did better against the spread than you and I did straight up.
It's not, we didn't do bad at 10-5 and then 9-6.
Yeah.
I think I'm on a little heater, man. I've had at least 10 wins for like several weeks in a row.
Go ahead, pat yourself on the back. I'm more proud of the accomplishments of the show.
I bet.
Both of us.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take that victory lap for yourself. That's fine. Not mad about it. I'm gonna go with you on Baltimore. As much as I would like to pick Joe Burrow, who is found a new gear, right? Yeah. He is playing awesome football right now. But not having T. Higgins, Eric All going down with another knee injury to the same injury that he had last season was a nice little role player for them. And I know they have Mike Gesicki that can step in and do some of the same things. And obviously you have Jamar Chase, but now you're down Zach Moss. You're down T. Higgins in this game. You're down out Eric All. We've talked about their lack of ability to run the ball. I think it's just too much for Cincinnati to overcome on a short week on the road. But the show does like them to cover plus 6.5.
Some team that wins their division in the AFC is going to have one heck of a reward getting to host Joe Burrow in the opening round of the playoffs.
Right.
AKA, I hope that's not me.
Yeah, they're trending the way of making the push.
Yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
But we don't think so tomorrow or tonight.
Not tonight, but it'll be okay. They'll be okay.
They'll be okay long term.
Yeah.
Teams that are not okay. Next,
wake up early on Sunday morning, baby. Munich.
We have got the Germany game, Giants and Panthers. Giants favored by 6.5 points, despite the return of Bryce Young to the lineup for the Carolina Panthers.
Our friends in Germany, we are sorry that this is the
I'm
game.
not. You guys got a game. Enjoy the game. Have fun.
This is the showcase of the National Football League. Last year was the Chiefs and Dolphins, actually.
Yes.
That was kind of a weird game too, right? Like
Kansas City up big. Tyreek has the fumble when they're going in to score before halftime. That's returned for a touchdown. And then Miami scores 14 unanswered. And at least it was kind of interesting at the end. You got to see the Dolphins try to put together a 2-minute drive to tie the game. But at least it was a good showcase game.
You're going first on this one. You got to set the temperature here.
I actually think the Panthers' offensive line can handle the strength of the Giants' front.
Think so too. I
think that's obviously they spent a lot of money to be more sturdy up front. Obviously, you like the matchup against the Panthers' defense, which has struggled, but I'm just going off good vibes right now, and good vibes right now is giving me the Panthers sneak out a win. Now, the show likes the Panthers also to cover 6.5 because that's a pretty large number. But I'm going to ride the Panthers with the show.
Yeah, I have the Panthers real money on them covering. I think that's a crazy spread for the Giants. The Giants' run defense has been kind of bad lately, right? And Chuba Hubbard, they're running the ball pretty decent, right?
I think Jonathan Brooks is going to be active this week for Carolina too.
Bryce Young's played better. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. I don't know, man. Give me the Panthers. Give me the Panthers going to Munich, getting a win.
Yeah, and Jonathan Brooks confirmed as of yesterday afternoon he is activated and will play in this game.
Let's go.
Brooks,
Carolina, go Carolina.
There you go. You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's sneak in the Patriots and Bears for sure.
So the vibes are not great for either of these teams.
They're better for the Patriots, though, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, but they lost to Tennessee. So that's not great.
Yeah, overtime though. Drake May makes a fun play at the end. I think those are exactly the losses you want if you're the Patriots. You know,
correct. You want to have things to build on. I know a lot of fans don't want to hear about foundational occurrences and things that are good when the team is bad, but expectations minus reality. New England is a team that did not have a lot of expectations, so hopefully they have had a fun first half of the season and seeing what Drake May is capable of. And they're going against a Chicago Bears team that metrically scores well defensively. They got waxed in Arizona last week. Cardinals took care of business. It was a bit of a regression game for Caleb. I'll say this, Joe. The Patriots' defense against Chicago's offense, I'm a little leery about Caleb going against the Patriots. And I know it's not like Bill running the show with the defensive group, but I'm just a little, I think about this game and Caleb and where he's been irregular this season. And I think the Patriots can make this a sloppy performance for Caleb Williams.
So who are you picking?
Give me the Pats.
So here's the thing. I sound like a broken record. I have money on the Patriots covering the spread. I think the Bengals, Giants, and Patriots, a 6.5 point dogs is crazy to me. I have that. It's a parlay. That's a Joe Marino parlay.
All underdog parlay? Would you do a money line parlay?
No, yeah, you're not going to get the winners on that. But to cover, why are the Bears favored by 7 against anybody? Why are the Giants favored by 6.5 against anybody?
Watch, both of those teams are going to win by like 14.
Bro, I know. Never, right? I get it.
Never tweet. Never talk during a game. Because as soon as you say something about anything, the opposite.
Well, that makes it a little difficult for this concept of this show today. I'm with you, man. I'm going to roll with the Patriots.
Let's go. I was a little worried.
Oh, in Chicago, yeah. You don't want to be different on this one, you know?
Tim's furious you said
Tim,
that.
Tim, yeah, we know he's here. We know he can't quit us.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim, we hear
Thanks for tuning in and hate tweeting us for the 8th straight year off your 14th
eight years in a row.
Separate Twitter account.
Yeah.
Glad to know you're still listening.
I'm not going to be different than you on this game for sure, right?
Coward.
But,
Coward.
I know, obviously a coward. I vibes are better with the Patriots, and I mean, part of this is the Bears let us down last week. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go get into Arizona and beat them. Nah, they were asleep, man.
That's just going to be a team that I think is just going to be up and down. You could tell not everybody is rowing in the same direction as far as that football team. I think Drake May's a nice jolt of energy. So yeah, we'll go down with the AFC East team this week in Patriots.
All right. Bunch of more games to pick coming up in the other side of it, including Steelers Commanders. I think that's a fun one. We'll talk about that and more on the other side of it. Be sure to stick with us. Pre-alcohol probiotic drink by Zbiotics is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make Zbiotics your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Here's what you do. Step 1, you drink pre-alcohol. For best results, make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Step 2, drink responsibly, pace yourself, hydrate, and get a good night's sleep. Step 3, enjoy tomorrow. Wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day. Go to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use LockedOnNFL at checkout. Zbiotics is backed with 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/LockedOnNFL and use code LockedOnNFL at checkout for 15% off.
Bills and Colts, our next game. Indianapolis hosting Buffalo. You tell me, Mr. Locked On Bills. What do you think?
Well, in 2021, these two teams played. The Colts won 41-15. Jonathan Taylor had over 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. So that's pretty much heavy on the mind here. You'd like to think that if there was a game where I think the Bills match up well otherwise, right? Like I think their receivers against the Bills DBs is pretty decent matchup. The Colts are going to have 2 rookies on their offensive line starting in this game with no Ryan Kelly. And then, of course, the UDFA starting at right guard for Will Fries. So I think that's helpful. I think the Bills will be able to throw the ball on Indy, which I think is important. I think the Bills win the game, but I do have a piece of me that's real nervous about Jonathan Taylor going off against the Bills defense that is willing to kind of invite some rushing production. But in a game like this, I think you say we're going to take away Jonathan Taylor, heat up Joe Flacco, and see if Rasul Douglas and Christian Benford can go toe-to-toe with, the receivers that they have, Pierce and Pittman.
I think Benford was a big presence missing for Buffalo defensively last week.
Yeah, he's good.
And, obviously a great player, and having him back would be really helpful for doing what you're talking about as far as stressing Joe Flacco and relying on playing one-on-one matchups on the perimeter. I think Buffalo wins the game. I think they're obviously playing good football right now. They're a team that, like every team, has their ways in which you can try to attack them. I think you saw that last week with how Miami ran the ball against them, and the Colts would be wise to lean into that and try and limit it. But I trust Buffalo, the football team, to make the right plays and not make mistakes. And I think about the Colts, some of the experience in the offensive line, the lack of experience in the secondary against Josh Allen. Did they have any closers from a pass rush perspective to get home on him?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. And I like the show likes the Bills to cover -3.5 as well.
I think that spread's come down a little bit. I think it opened at 5.5.
I'd probably like Buffalo at 5.5 too, to be honest with you. But it's neither here nor there.
All right.
Vikings, Jags.
Vikings? I mean, do you trust this Jaguars offense against Flores? I know that Jaguars at home, that's helpful, but...
Well, Trevor's banged up. Got a shoulder issue. Doug called it an upper body issue. It's the left shoulder
got
issue.
The secrets, Kyle. Cam Robinson's got the secrets.
Yeah, Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota.
The show likes Minnesota -4.5 on the road.
Ah.
Denver, Kansas City, Chiefs favored by 8.5 against this really good Denver Broncos defense.
A really good Denver Broncos defense gave 40 points up to Lamar last week. Here's Patrick Mahomes for you. And here's what it comes down to me for me, man. I don't trust Bo Nix against the Chiefs defense. I think that's the real story here. So
right. Yeah. I mean, Denver scored 10 last week, 9 last week. What was it?
Yeah. The Chiefs defense is way better than the Ravens defense.
I would imagine it will be a similarly challenging effort.
Yeah.
Now, what's the game total? Do you have the game total for points in this game? I would guess it's 41, 42.
42.5.
Okay. I would take the under.
Because Denver's not going to do their part.
Correct.
And the Chiefs respectfully, a really efficient offense. They're not going out and scoring 40, 50 a week, they
Correct.
might score 30, and that's probably not, that might not be enough to get the over here.
So we like, the show likes Kansas City minus 8.5 as well. A couple lay down games here, the rest of 1 o'clock slate. Falcons, Saints. The Falcons have a very interesting distinguishment as it pertains to the Saints season. Do you know what it is?
No.
They played in week 4. And prior to last week against Carolina, it was the last 1-score game the Saints had played.
Wow.
Their average margin of defeat from weeks 5 through 8 was 19.5 points.
Seems bad.
And then they lost to the Panthers by a point.
We got to say the one game coach bump. We got to mention it, right? Does it happen?
Yeah, Darren Rizzi, the Rizzler.
Get rizzed up at
Are
home.
the Saints going to get rizzed up at home against the Falcons with no Chris Olave? Second concussion for him already this season. That's super scary. No
Marshon Lattimore.
No Marshon Lattimore. They don't have Rashid Shaheed.
Falcons, Kyle. Falcons. Kirk's playing good.
Falcons and Falcons big. The show likes the Falcons to cover minus 3.5 on the road. 49ers, Bucs. San Francisco on the road favored by 5.5 against a Tampa team that gave you a very spirited performance against Kansas City on Monday Night Football last week. But now on a short week, you get San Francisco coming to town. And it sounds like Christian McCaffrey might be ready to go.
Niners are 5.5 point road favorites.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, man. The Bucs, with whatever issues you think they have, they forced overtime, right, against Kansas City in Kansas City.
And different game management probably
right
gives them a chance to win that football game.
The 49ers, I feel like the 49ers are kind of really well positioned to attack a lot of the problems that Tampa has, though, on defense.
That would be what I'm most worried about. And, dude, the last 5 games for Tampa's defense, 36 points in overtime at Atlanta, 27 points in a win against the Saints, 41 points to the Ravens, 31 points to Atlanta, 30 points to the Chiefs.
I'm rolling with the Niners off the bye.
I am also rolling with the Niners off the bye. The show likes the Niners minus 5.5 without the offensive weapons in Tampa Bay. So everybody's rolling on the Niners. Our last 1 o'clock game of the week, Steelers at Commanders. Big time test for Jaden Daniels. I'm excited for this game. I think this is the 1 o'clock slate. And me, selfishly, I don't get a game till Monday night.
Yeah,
so
this is good to be you. This is a good one to watch at 1.
I'm going to be sitting here basking in the glory of Giants, Panthers, and Munich, and then I might just have one TV on, and it might just be Steelers, Commanders at 1 o'clock. So you're a really interesting game.
I think this is the most interesting game of the week for me. It's a big test for Washington. I think Pittsburgh's defense is outstanding. They got the best 4-man rush in the game. Pittsburgh's running the ball well. Pittsburgh's getting the moon balls down the field. I don't think a road test for them. I don't think this is a massive road test. I like Pittsburgh going in as road dogs and winning this game.
Okay. I'm a little mad you said that.
Because that was
I thought it was going to be hot. Thought it was going to be a hot take that I was going to pick the Steelers to win the game.
No, I got real cash on that already.
The show also likes Pittsburgh plus 2.5. So we have good synergy thus far. The show with the spreads and us picking the games, with the exception of tonight's game where you and I both picked the Ravens and the show picked the Bengals to cover the spreads. The only thing that's different so far through the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday.
We'll see if that changes. We're getting to everything after 4 p.m. Eastern time on the other side of it, folks. Be sure after. You know what I meant. The late slate. Stick with us.
Let's get it.
Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel the FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. Obviously, all the spreads that we're talking about today comes courtesy of FanDuel. So if you agree with us or you like some of these spreads, they speak to you, go get in on the action. And if it's your first time, you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. All you do is pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long with PrizePicks. I personally love that PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get money in as quick as 15 minutes. Plus, PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. So download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game.
Joseph, we have a wee-woo.
Okay.
Breaking news. Breaking news on the show.
I'm unaware of it, so this is always fun when one of us gets to
We have a new top 10 paid running back in the NFL.
Oh, no.
I'm going to read you the terms, and I want you to tell me who you think it might be.
Oh, this is so weird. I am not anticipating anything like this right now.
4-year, $33.2 million contract extension with a max value of $37.2 million and $15 million in new fully guaranteed money.
Dude, the only ones that I think are extension eligible, like Travis Etienne, no way. Najee Harris, there's no way they did that.
Would you like the expiring contracts at free agency for
Would
the
that
running
help
back
me?
position?
Is it an expiring contract? Surely it is.
Yes, it is.
The class from 3 years ago, they have to finish.
So based off I'm just going to read you the names. Aaron Jones, James Conner, Javonte Williams, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, Rico Dowdle, Jalen Warren, Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay, so it's got. Right? I'm thinking that this is either Conner or Harris.
I need a formal guess.
Man, they just drafted Benson. 4 years, 33.
4 years, 33 with a max value of 37.2.
I'm going to go with, I guess I'm going to go with Najee Harris.
That is incorrect.
Is it James Conner?
That is also incorrect.
What? It can't be J.K. Dobbins.
That is also incorrect.
What's the other names on this list?
The answer is Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba!
Carolina Panthers paying
Wow. Chuba. Good for you, Chuba. Good for you, buddy.
Right after spending a second-round draft pick on a running back.
All right, Dan Morgan. All right, buddy. I don't know, buddy.
Okay. Titans, Chargers, 4 o'clock, 4:05. It's in LA. LA gets 2 games this week. Chargers favored at home by 7.5.
Yo, they got Miles Sanders on that contract.
Oh, Miles will be gone after this year, but yeah. And now we're paying 2 running backs.
With the second-round pick and
With a
Jonathan.
second-round pick
Didn't they
as well.
trade up for Jonathan Brooks?
Is that a factual statement?
They did. They either traded up or down, man.
This is they just said we've been investing all of our resources in the wrong back. We were doing all this to get a quarterback. Really, we just need to invest all our resources to get a running back.
Titans, who are they playing?
Chargers.
Chargers at home, right? Chargers at home.
Chargers at home for sure, I think.
With that defense, right? They're going to smoke them. You can get a ticket to this game for $12, by the way.
Can
$12. Yeah. You can go to SoFi
Stadium. We've been there.
You watch professional football for $12 at SoFi Stadium.
Well, no, we'd have to buy cross-country flights, so it'd be a little more expensive.
If you live in Inglewood or LA.
Tomato.
Yeah.
The show likes the Titans to cover plus 7.5.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, I think Titans are decent on defense.
Tavondre Sweat, big showcase game for him.
Yeah, and I mean, with Rudolph, they got a pulse on offense, right? So
it's at least a coherent operation.
Right. Pollard's pretty good, man. Good little player.
So Titans, the show likes Titans to cover as a road dog, covering plus more than a touchdown. Jets in Arizona. Jets favored by 1.5. You're giggling already. I could see it.
Because these are the 2 weirdest teams in the league to pick, aren't they? Like, respectfully, this is the weirdest 2 teams. And they're playing each other in Arizona. Did the Jets play on Thursday recently? Why do I feel like they might have extra rest in this game?
They did. They played the Texans at home last week.
So they got extra time to go into Arizona. Arizona can run the ball, though, right? And the Jets stink at run defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they're home.
I'm going to cut you off. I'm picking the Cardinals.
I'm there, too.
Nice little hot team.
Yeah.
I know Aaron Rodgers, the salesman, is getting everybody all fired up to run the table. The Cardinals won back-to-back games for the first time in 17 years. It hadn't been that long, but it's like Kyler Murray, like first time in 3 years, he's won back-to-back games.
Yo, Arizona doesn't have the horses in the secondary, though. That does make me nervous.
Yeah, but now they got Baron Browning to help the pass rush and heat him up.
Let's go. But be amazing this week. Boy, if they lose to Arizona, that'd be fun. Our Cards, Red Sea, Go Birds, whatever the things they say are. Bird Gang, yeah. All of it.
Is that all the bird things? We're throwing them all at you.
The Red Sea, yeah, we're here.
The show likes the Jets on the road minus 1.5. So we're going to clash with the show on that front.
The last 2 we've clashed.
3 more games. Eagles, Cowboys in the battle of opposite vibes.
Yeah, Eagles.
Dak Prescott, IR, might not play again this year. Suggested he has an avulsion tear with his hamstring, which means part of the bone came off.
This is Jacoby Jones. Did you see the soundbite with him? What a bozo take.
No.
Saying he's like, Dak's quitting on the team. Like, okay.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Yeah, like, what? I don't know.
Boy,
there's some bozo clips coming out of that production. But, yeah, that was so stupid.
Show likes Philly minus 7 on the road.
100%.
Dallas one-dimensional offensively already. Dalvin Cook's tearing it up in practice, though, so we're going to elevate.
Yeah, listen. Yeah. Remember when Dalvin Cook went to the Ravens last year?
Yeah, everybody oh, my God. He had his whole free agency tour and went to the Jets and averaged 3 yards a carry.
Right. But then it was like, the hype still existed. It's like, they thought that they were getting whatever they got right now in Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook.
Right. Detroit, minus 3.5 in Houston. Sunday Night Football.
Detroit. Houston, with the way CJ Stroud's playing right now, like being a chaos merchant, having some issues on defense as well. I think Detroit handles this football game, even if Nico Collins plays.
Like, no bones about it. The offensive line for Houston has not been particularly impressive this year. With the amount of pressures that CJ has, but CJ has compounded some of that on his own. And I just think, like, if you're going to play Detroit, you got to be willing to play like an unsexy football game, right? And that's for Houston. And if we're going to try to press and make explosive plays, I don't see any reason why they won't eat you up front with what they have in the front defensively. And that's without Aiden Hutchinson.
And Detroit's so aggressive with their coverage. They play very, very tight. They suffocate. They choke everything, dude. I don't like it at all. And nobody really runs the ball in Detroit. So like the best thing I think for the Houston offense lately has been Joe Mixon. I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
Right. This would have to be a big Joe Mixon spot in the passing game for Houston.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah.
If you're going to get anything consistent done offensively, like don't try to take your shots down the field or on the perimeter too much. Be very selective, but take advantage of the space in the middle of the field because you have all that room to release him out into routes. The show likes Detroit on the road -3.5.
How many times do you think these teams have played? I got to look this up. This is only.
That's a fun question. So in the history of the Texans,
the history of the Houston Texans, I have the answer. How many times?
I'm gonna say 3 times.
This will be the 6th all-time meeting. And here's the deal. Houston's 4-1 all time against Detroit. They've won the last 4. When's
the last time they played?
2020, a 41-25 Texans win.
Yeah, life was a little different for both of those teams back then. NFL, not for long, embodied the state of affairs with Houston and Detroit the last time they played. Our last game of the week, Monday Night Football, the Dolphins visiting the Rams. Rams favored by 1.5 at home. This number's come down. This was, I think, as high as 3. So there's been line movement towards Miami. Dolphins obviously had a inspired offensive performance. It sounds like they may get healthy on defense. Mike McDaniel optimistic about Zach Sealer. Javon Holland potentially back this week. Kader Hohu potentially back this week for them defensively. So that's 40% of their starting secondary. I think the interesting part of this game that everybody's going to overlook, or I'm sure they won't overlook it on the broadcast. I'm sure that we'll get bludgeoned on the broadcast. But have you heard anybody refer to Mike McDaniel, Sean McVay yet talking about this game?
I didn't even know that they know each other, to be honest with you.
First time that these two have matched up against each other. I believe that's right. Right?
Seems right. Yeah. I don't know when they would have played each other.
So I think it's the extra. You know how you have the extra non-conference game?
Right. I don't think they played.
I think Miami caught San Francisco in 2022, which is what, like, I know they played San Francisco because it was the first Brock Purdy.
So it wasn't them. Yeah. Yeah.
But it was like we didn't play the whole NFC South West that season because we're playing them this season.
Right.
So yes, this is the first time of the matchup of those two coaches. Rams have some nice momentum going, and Stafford's playing super good right now. And I think that's the biggest concern for Miami is Kyler put on his Superman cape against you. Josh Allen made the plays he needed to make down the stretch against you, and that touchdown pass in the red zone. They don't have any pass rush closers right now. So that's the worry I have for this game for Miami.
How much of the Seattle LA game have you seen? What I'm really getting at is why didn't the Rams run the ball better against Seattle? They only had 68 rushing yards.
I don't have an answer for you.
So that's kind of a storyline that's interesting to me because like you feel like that would be important for them.
So, and for Rams defense perspective,
it's been good.
Their young guys have been killing it. I do think this is a matchup where Miami will, I think, have a lot of answers to effectively mitigate a lot of that. The misdirection, take advantage of aggressiveness, and the quick passing game that they have with Tua, and they did a really nice job against Buffalo of just taking access as it was available, which has been kind of a problem for Mike McDaniel. I think they have a lot of things that they can build on to negate Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, who have been playing lights out as rookies. I think they're 2 of the top 5 pressure generators for rookies this season. I mean, that's how good they're playing.
They get leverage in numbers. They did against Buffalo. They get leverage in numbers and mitigate any playmakers that you have in your front for the most part. Is this really just come down to can the Dolphins on defense do enough to take away what Stafford's doing in the passing game right now?
And I think
they played 61% cover 3, cover 4 against Buffalo. Is that the right recipe against this offense, though? We know that there's a very diverse defense, right? That's the thing about Miami is they're a chameleon on defense with their coverage.
I think they'd be wise to play more matchups against this group with Ramsey and Kendall Fuller. And if you get Holland back, that's a nice win for you. I'm going to do the homer thing and pick Miami here. I think that there's a lot of, based off of everything I have heard, there's a lot of positive energy in the building despite the loss. Now, obviously, it's a question of it too little, too late, but I think they are going to come out and stylistically be able to negate the pressure that the young defense can get, and because of all the eye candy that they have, create some explosive plays, which they have not been able to do for the most part in the last couple of weeks.
Give me Stafford at home.
Great.
I don't feel good. There it is. Congratulations to the Dolphins.
The Joe Marino Dolphins curse is back after a 1 week reprieve with the layup of the layup you get twice a year when they lose to Buffalo.
Is the real curse whenever I'm different than you? I think that's the real curse.
All right. So we were the same last week.
Right.
I'm just going to look for every Miami game. We were both on the Dolphins against Arizona, but we were both wrong.
Okay.
You went Dolphins over Colts, and I went Colts.
Silly me.
So you were wrong on that one as well. And then they had their bye week. We both picked the Patriots against the Dolphins, so we were incorrect on that one. We both picked the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. You might not have got a game right this year for the Dolphins. Picking the Dolphins game.
I got them last week. I got them right.
Well, yeah, I said you get 2 layups a year when they play the Bills.
Well, what happened to you in week 2?
We were both right. Week 3 with Seattle. Week 2.
When I picked the Dolphins to win in week 2?
You picked the Dolphins to win in week 2.
Oh, that was boy. Yeah, I'm terrible at picking the Dolphins.
And then you picked the Dolphins to lose to Jacksonville in week 1.
Congratulations for Victory Tuesday coming up.
You just pick against them every week the rest of the year. It'd be great. We don't have to play each other. Just leave it in the past. Be done with it. That's going to do it for us here, Locked on NFL Scouting. Congratulations to Chuba Hubbard, new top 10 paid running back in the NFL. Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. Find us on YouTube, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We're out of here.